before we make the chicken giambotta, I want to take some of these wonderful pounded out, boneless, skinless chicken breasts and make another dish. Okay, we're going to save that for giambotta, but I like the look of this one, so we're going to trade. Now the chicken and sausage giambotta doesn't need that much chicken, so we're going to keep that there, and we're going to make 4 portions. I'm looking for the nicest cutlets to make another dish with this leftover prosciutto and sage, known as chicken saltimbocca. Chicken saltimbocca is very easy to make, and here's all you need. Over here in my pepper mills, I have a combination of pink Himalaya salt as well as the Molden's, you can see it, the Molden's smoked sea salt. So the first thing I want to do is, that prosciutto is not that salty, so I'm going to season the chicken, boneless, skinless chicken breast, first with a little bit of cracked smoked sea salt and pink Himalayan salt, and I'm going to season it also with a melange of cracked peppercorns. In this pepper mill, I have pink peppercorns, red peppercorns, pink peppercorns, green peppercorns, black peppercorns, and so that's a melange of cracked pepper. At this point, what you want to do to make chicken saltimbocca is put your sage. Take your sage and put that right on to your chicken breast. It doesn't matter, because a piece of prosciutto is going to go over each of these. You can use up as much sage as possible. I would add a good amount of leaves on each one. This is what's going to flavor the chicken. Flavor. Notice I'm not touching the chicken. I don't want to get raw poultry on my fingers. I just want to put enough sage to flavor, to add that herb spice. To the chicken. Many tiny pieces to waste not, want not. And as an added measure, I'm going to put some Italian seasonings. And you won't see a lot of people make chicken saltimbocca this way. They normally just take the sage and pound out the breast, dredge them in flour. You know, I put the prosciutto on. This prosciutto has been sitting out at room temperature for a little bit. So I always recommend, make sure that the prosciutto is sitting over the chicken. Now I'm going to have to wash my hands after this. But you can see we had 4 leftover slices. Why not utilize them? And especially now that I let them sit out at room temperature, as I was doing all the mise en place for these recipes here today, it dried out a little bit, but that's okay, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that's all covered. We're then going to take this wrap, come right over the cutting board, pull a little bit more up, make sure you keep all that intact underneath there, and cover the chicken pound the prosciutto and the sage and the Italian seasonings and the salt and pepper right into each chicken breast. Now, you're going to have to wash your hands anyways, but I would strongly suggest, again, remember, presentation. If you need to see anything that needs to be moved, you're going to wash your hands after you dredge this in flour. And over here, I already have some seasoned flour that has Italian seasonings in it. I'm mixing them up with my hands a little bit. Alright, so we'll keep what they call sort of a dry hand. And keep this over to the side here. And when you cook sprinkle, just dredge it. When you cook these now seasoned, shake off that excess, now seasoned chicken breasts with all the wonderful sage and prosciutto and a little bit of butter and extra virgin olive oil. You're going to cook them with the prosciutto face side up. You're not going to put it face side down. So you're going to do about 3 minutes. We're going to cook them for about 3 minutes on the back side where there's no prosciutto and no sage, and get them a little toasty in the butter and extra virgin olive oil in a cast iron skillet. And then what we're going to do, holding the prosciutto in place, then what we're going to do is we're going to turn them over for a little less than a minute and then take them out of the pan, and then we're going to make our sauce with lemon, white wine, a little bit of garlic, chicken stock, and butter. And then we're going to add these cutlets back to the pan. Alright, so we're done with this. We're going to throw this in the trash. We're done with it. We don't need it anymore. And we're going to wash our hands. Chicken saltimbocca going here. A little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit. A little bit of butter. About 2 tablespoons of butter. Now that's on low, believe it or not. You can see the butter sizzling. What we're going to do now is we're going to take and just shake off some of that excess flour. We don't want it too floury. Slowly, and layer it, slide it into the pan. We're going to do these two, trying to keep the prosciutto and the sage on the top. Now, once you slide them into the pan like that, you can then put the heat up a little bit more on medium. But again, remember, this is going to cook. Again, you're only partially cooking this on one side. our chicken now, even on low heat, you can see it's getting a nice crust on the edge there. At that point, you don't want to overcook it. So you just want to turn them, and you want to keep everything intact. Keep that prosciutto on there for a minute. This is raw chicken, so we're going to keep our tongue away from there. We can put our tongue up there. Just when you start to hear the prosciutto a little bit crispy, you're going to need to get your spatula. You can use this one, we'll wash it after. And a plate. And try to get right up underneath that, if you have to. Use your hand like so. You can move this out of the way. Some people say, oh well, why don't you clean the pan and start again? I think if you cook on low, low heat, this is medium to low, you don't, and you can use two hands obviously, you don't need to, and we'll put that right back on, you don't need to do another batch whereby you add more oil or more butter. There's more than enough oil and butter in the pan already. So again, that's been long enough on that side. Nice little turn. You can see chicken out of the pan. So if you're multitasking, folks, you're going to be fine. Just try to get underneath so that you get all of the prosciutto out of the pan. Now, we're going to turn the heat off. Look at this. Look at this wonderful chicken saltimbocca. It's still on medium low. A little white wine. Scrape off all that fond off the bottom. Get the chicken cooked in. Add some more butter. Let's find a spoon. You can see the pan sauce is already coming together beautifully. I like the wood spoon just as well. Between your fingers to catch any little lemon squeezed into there. See that pit we cut right there? Alright, so we have our sauce here for our saltimbocca. We just squeezed some lemon in there. We got the butter, more white wine. We put the rest of the chicken stock in here. We have our plate. Everything's hot already over there, ready to go. You can see this beautiful sauce. Put some more chiffonado basil in there. Got a little garlic clove. Now what you're going to do is you're going to layer your saltimbocca right back down in that sauce. Yummy. It's already been garnished. And you're going to heat that through. This is hot and ready to go. This was already hot. I took it out of the pan to make the sauce and we're putting it back in. It's already nice, temperature. We don't want to overcook.
And it looks like it's time to eat. We got a little bit of everything on the plate. Ciao, mangia mangia.